So thanks for having me here at the NOAH stage. And I want to tell you something about Getsafe. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the company, and we started Getsafe in 2015, and we were the first mobile insurance broker in Germany. And so we started out as a broker, but we are both technical founders, an engineer, that's me, and my co-founder is a physics. So we weren't really satisfied that by being a broker and just an intermediary, we could really change the fundamentals how insurance is working. So we decided to build an insurance company essentially from scratch, especially from the tech perspective. And so today, we call ourselves a neo-insurance company, and we actually are a few rare companies of this up-and-coming category that we are trying to shape and also to explain in the world what a neo-insurance company is. And you probably all know the term of neobank. I think that everybody would agree that you've heard that. And I think what we have in common with a neobank is that we're building a product that is mobile first, that creates engagement with the user and is pretty close to the customer. Plus, we are targeting specifically customers that are new to the financial services industry, or in this case, the insurance industry, which today is the generation of millennials. And talking about millennials, what we saw, and it's perhaps not surprising, is that the old incumbents are not reaching this generation of people and customers anymore. And in our first year, when we launched the product last year, we already had a higher market share than big companies, than AXA and Allianz, because they just, again, have no access to the millennial customer base and marketplace. It's not just about Germany. If you look at the insurance landscape in every country, you have hundreds of insurance carriers that are all pretty similar. I don't see so much differentiation. And what's interesting is that the millennial generation in Europe is still pretty uncovered. What does it mean in numbers? That in the next 10 years, millennials will buy roughly 1 billion new insurance policies in all over Europe. And you only, on the other side, have a handful of challengers that try to change the status quo, and not even all of them are going after the millennial marketplace. So how are we doing this? We've created a totally new customer experience that is really made for the smartphone. And why are we doing it on the smartphone? Why do we want to be in the palm of the hand of our customers? Because insurance, if you think about 100 years ago, was a relationship business. You had an agent in the village, and the agent knew the family, and perhaps your parents and grandparents. The agent knew if you were in a sports club, what you like to eat, whatever. So it's pretty personal, pretty individual. Now, in the last 20, 30 years, with the rise of aggregators, of direct insurance companies, it become pretty transactional, as I call it. It means you just go there a little bit like traveling. You have not the travel agencies anymore that are personal and individual, but it's really pretty transactional. You just buy the policy, and that's pretty much it, and you forget about it. And so I think the opportunity that we have, and that's the nice thing that got us intrigued to start an insurance company, is that you can build positive and long-term relationships with your customers that can last, let's say, if the customer is 25 years old today, up to 50, 60 years. And that's just the first cohort of customers that you have. And that's not really unlikely to reach that. So how does the product and the experience look like? First of all, you can buy insurance pretty quickly in 3 minutes on your smartphone. And we mainly are offering renters and liability insurance to young people. What's much more important is the next part. So you can change your coverage anytime in real time. And to do so, you just can't build a fancy app or a front end. You need to really rebuild the core insurance backend system that powers this, because all traditional infrastructures that you see out there that you can rent or buy or that insurance carriers have are not made to do this. And why is this important? Because think about it also for yourself. People between 20 and 40 are going through a lot of life events and life stages. So you go from first job, moving in with your boyfriend or girlfriend, then perhaps getting married, getting your first child, buying your first flat or house, etc., etc. So between 20 and 40, a lot of life changes and new life situations. And so I think you need a companion that helps you really also change and protect the things and stuff you most care about in your life. And so what you can do, for example, is if you move, you can change your address immediately in the app. If you switch bank, what many people are doing nowadays, you can do so. But also if you have a new family member in the family, you can add them. If you need to extend coverage, you can do everything immediately, and it's instantly activated. And so the last part of the experience, obviously, is the claim, the moment of truth in insurance. And we try to pay claims super fast, but most importantly, we try to settle claims fast. If it's a yes or a no, but within 3 days on average, really try to give you an answer. And in many, many cases, we're much faster. So another real benefit of being mobile is that you are tracking a lot of behavioral data of the customer using the app. So for example, if you're buying an insurance product with us, you're behaving in a certain way, but you're also behaving in a certain way if you're like, before you're filing a claim. Are you looking at the terms and conditions? Are you going quickly through the process or not? And that's pretty relevant. So why does this really count? And why is this the foundation to create a 10x better customer experience in insurance? Because today, for an insurance company, every customer is pretty much the same. Look at home insurance, for example. They just look at your address. It's one-dimensional. We have like 100x the data that also somehow sometimes strange and behavioral data that we see, but they matter. And so we have a much better understanding about who you are. And we also know if we can trust you or if we can don't. And why is this important? Because in insurance, around 40% of the inefficiencies in the system are caused by 2% of the customers. So if you can filter out the 2%, you can provide a seamless and 10x better experience to 98% of the customers, which, an example, means that if your MacBook gets stolen and you tell us so, we don't need any more data. We know that you can trust you because we know you much, much better than Allianz or somebody else knows you, and we can immediately pay you back the money or even order a new MacBook for you. So with this experience on a very low marketing budget, in the last 14 months, we grew to over 60,000 members. The average customer is 29 years old. Like, we have a big peak at 25 years, and over 75% are really buying insurance for the first time. They would never go into a broker's office or something. We just announced our Series A round last week, led by Early Bird, which is a great investor and an early believer also in the new banking trend and revolution. And in total, we raised 23 million so far and will raise more money in the next 12 months. So the next step for us is that we are seeing that we have a really sleek operational model compared to a traditional insurance carrier. To give you a number, we have 4 employees in operations and service on over 60,000 members, and we have really good customer ratings. So for us, the overhead of going to another country is pretty low, and it's not really costly. So what's next for us is really, of course, creating a global insurance experience, and as a next step, ensuring all the millennials that I told you, like 1 billion policies, that are to cover in Europe in the next 10 years. Thanks very much. Hope to see you around. Thank you.